For 10 years this man ordered pizza every single day, then employees realized something off. 48-year-old Kirk Alexander from Salem, Oregon, is a huge lover of pizza. He has spent the last 10 years eating Domino's pizza nearly every day. Suddenly, one day Alexander decided he was not going to order. The workers were confused and completely taken by surprise when they learned why. Pizza is one of those foods that are popular around the world and loved by everyone nationwide. In the US, more than 3 billion pizzas are sold every single year. Wow, that is a lot. The general manager, Sarah Fuller, said he orders every day, every other day. All the employees are regular to his order when he pops up on the screen and knows that it is Kirk immediately. In 2009, Fuller first was acquainted with Alexander when she first started working for Domino's. She started out as a delivery driver, so she got to know him. Fuller knew things about Fuller for sure. He worked from home, he did not leave his home often, and he had serious health problems in the past. After speaking to several neighbors, they started to learn more about Kirk. They said, "I knock on the door every once in a while, but sometimes he answers." Another neighbor who lives across the street added, "Very seldom does he ever answer the door." Other neighbors explained that while Kirk maintained his distance from people, he was a good guy. He visited the home of one neighbor, Ben Theodorich's, several times. He would fix their computers, he is quite a tech-savvy guy. Sarah explained that all the delivery men knew Kirk quite well. He saw them every day and they naturally had conversations. This made sense to us. Strangely though, his order did not come through for the next several days. The staff started to feel unsettled. Initially, they imagined that he was probably on a vacation of some sort. As more time went by, the delivery guys started to question about Alexander. Sarah went to check the system and noticed that it was already 11 days without an order from Kirk. Something was up. It wasn't typical of Kirk not to order for 11 days. At first, they thought they were maybe overreacting, but then they realized they could not ignore this. They knew Kirk would never randomly stop ordering unless it was something more serious. At that point, Sarah was certain something was going on. Kirk was quite a dedicated customer and he knew all the staff. He was a quiet man, but still friendly and kind. Sarah said, "He orders all the time, so we know him." Not only did the staff consider him a friend, but also as a family. The employees also knew that it was out of character for him to take long trips. Maybe he chose a new pizza place, what do you think? Well, Kirk is a regular customer, that does not mean he has a regular order as well. He would frequently change things up and ordered every item on the menu. He really enjoyed all that the Domino's menu had to offer. He did not just order a simple cheese pizza every day. He was the kind of man who was excited to try all the items on the menu. When the staff created something new, they were excited for Kirk to give his feedback. He was like their taster. The Domino's workers were started to get concerned about why he was not ordering from their restaurant. After weeks passed, Fuller sent an employee to go and see what was going on with Kirk. Sarah assigned the job to Tracy Hamblin. He drove over to Kirk's home, walked to the front steps, and saw the lights on inside. Then he noticed that the TV was on too. Something was fishy. During a slow night at the restaurant, Fuller decided it was time to start acting. It was May 8 around 1 a.m. when she instructed Tracy Hamblin, one of the delivery drivers, to head over to Alexander's home. Tracy approached Kirk's home not knowing what he would find. He was alone in this, and he wanted to come back with good news for his coworkers. He got out of his car and approached Kirk's front door unprepared for what he would find. Tracy immediately noticed that the lights were on and his face lit up. This had to mean that Kirk was inside. But if he was home, then why wasn't he ordering? He knocked on the door and waited for a response. Hamblin began knocking on the door, but Kirk did not answer. He took out his cell phone and decided to ring him several times. When he received no answer repeatedly, he began to be concerned. Despite the sounds and lights on, Kirk still did not answer the door. They decided to call his cell phone, but still no answer. After repeatedly phoning him, they decided to call 911 for assistance. Tracy, the delivery man, returned to the store and called 911. Everyone working at Domino's was starting to get concerned. All of them getting a bit nervous as to what was going on. What do you think it could be? Tracy did knock once on the door and walk away. He continued knocking, insisting on getting a response. Then, when his phone calls went to voicemail, he knew something was not right. He requested the help of his coworkers. As the workers got together, they started deliberating the possible ideas. Then they decided the best course of action was to call 911. He said, "Well, I need some help on what to do, it could be an emergency." They explained to the operator that there was a customer who regularly orders but then didn't for 11 days. They were getting concerned and wanted to speak to the police. Then they were transferred to the county sheriff's department. Hamblin was shaky in his voice as he told the operator the situation. He said that Kirk stopped ordering pizzas for 11 days and they had never experienced this in 10 years. Something strange was going on. The police immediately headed over to Alexander's house, unsure of what they would find. They knocked on the door and shouted his name over and over. The police heard him inside, screaming for help. They knocked down the front door and called the ambulance to help. It is said that Kirk has had many strokes in the past. To their surprise, they heard a response from inside. It was something requesting help. The police knocked the door down to see Kirk lying on the floor feeling helpless. Soon enough, Alexander was taken to the hospital. The police said that it was clear that Kirk was in need of immediate medical attention. If they had been just 1 day later, then Alexander probably wouldn't have made it. They learned that Kirk suffered from a stroke. Fortunately, the paramedics managed to stabilize him. At that point, nobody had any answers. There were no eyewitnesses and nobody understood how long he was lying there. By the grace of God, the police arrived in the nick of time. The medical staff even saved his life and he was going to make a full recovery. The employees at Domino's could not believe it. They were so happy to hear this and that they managed to help. One of the employees said, "We want to give him flowers, hopefully, help him recover faster, knowing that people do care about him. It's so uplifting to see how people are willing to help each other in times of crisis." The staff went to visit Kirk at the hospital. They said it was not fully himself the first day, but then they returned he was doing much better. He was then moved to a rehabilitation center at the hospital and started coming back to normal. The director of public relations at Domino's headquarters in Ann Arbor, Michigan, said that Kirk is making a nice recovery. She also added how proud she was of the staff's behavior, which is consistent with the company. She added that while there are Domino's restaurants around the world, each one is loyal to its neighborhood. This means that they get to know their customers and become like a family. Not only that, but there are several stories of Domino's stores helping loyal customers in many ways over the years. She commends them to this level of customer service. However, the staff at Domino's do not call themselves heroes. They believe that they are doing their job and checking up on people who order from frequently. They did not think it was appropriate to do nothing. The staff at Domino's really did something inspiring. The story got the attention of the media and it was made viral. Now, everyone knows about this story nationwide. Sarah had an interview with Good Morning America along with the assistant manager. They were asked to explain what happened. Afterward, they were commended for such a kind act. Also, they updated on Alexander's situation since they visited him before. They discussed with the host that they had visited him frequently to check on how he is and stay up to date. While he was a bit out of on the first day, by the next day he was getting better. Even by the third day, he was moved to a completely new sect of the hospital. Moments later, the employees were told some news that left them speechless. They said, "Since you guys are superheroes, we're gonna send you to Captain America. Civil War." They all received tickets, but that's not all. In addition, the corporate office of Domino sent the managers and the delivery man who found Kirk to the Domino's Worldwide Rally. This is a yearly convention located in Las Vegas for Domino's members. In every direction, this staff was getting the appreciation that they needed. The sheriff at Marion County thanked Mr. Hamblin. Without him, Kirk may not have gotten to the stable position he is now. They personally thanked him and said, "Thank you, Hamblin, for his quick actions and willingness to take time out of his day to care for others. Wow, it's nice to see him getting acknowledged." The employees continued to visit Alexander. They wanted to make sure he had everything he needed and was doing okay. They were determined that he had all that he needed to feel comfortable. Up till now, Kirk is gradually recovering at the hospital. Hopefully, he can get back home soon and return to his normal routine of ordering Domino's pizza.